And we're just so grateful for you all. And this morning, we're going to start off with Laurie Grice. Anybody know Laurie Grice? I mean, everybody knows Laurie Grice. She took my son's pictures when they were babies, and she is just a very gifted. But I'm going to read the bio, okay, because there's a lot that I could say about her, and she's just a wonderful woman of God, very gifted and very talented, and I'm just honored to have her here this morning. But let's see, Laurie Grice celebrates over 2 decades in business as founder of Laurie Grice Photography. She holds a BBA in marketing from Georgia Southern University, a photographic craftsman, and master's from the Professional Photographers of America. Somebody say, whoa. Grice continues to be Southeast Georgia's only award-winning, nationally certified master craftsman's portraits artist. Somebody say, whoa. That's amazing. Laurie understands that not everyone will appreciate the historical value of documenting your life in such a special way. For this reason, she prefers to share her gift of portrait art with the few that do understand and appreciate this season in their life. Clients who share the commitment to celebrate it and document it the way it should be done by an experienced, gifted professional with skill and grace for generations to enjoy. Can you put your hands together for Laurie Grice?
Thank you, Janet. She made up a lot of that stuff, so don't believe everything you hear. Thank y'all so much for the invitation to come to share with you guys. I feel very honored to be here. I just feel like this little South Georgia girl grew up here in Statesboro that just has been very blessed, honestly. I like to start out, if you can change slides, with a little story. Is it working? There it goes. It all started with a pink paint pen. Who in here had a teacher that was just disgruntled every day? I had that teacher in 9th grade in health. And she was just angry to be alive, I think, most days. And we had those desks, those desks that had been carved and carved and carved by the boys with their pocket knives back when you could take pocket knives to school. And 9th grade is when paint pens came out. Y'all remember those if you're as old as me? And I'm not very bright, so instead of just writing with my paint pen on those messed up desks, I wrote my name. I know. Stupid. Never said I was bright. I'm just pretty sassy and crafty. But my teacher was pretty angry about it, as if all the boys that had carved in them for 1,800 years, they didn't get in trouble. But I had detention and had to clean all the desks. My dad was a teacher at the school at the time. That made it fun. So he and my 2 stepbrothers sat there in the corner laughing at me and watching me. But, I've been meaning to look up this teacher on Facebook because I want to tell her that now people pay me to sign my name on things. I want to tell everybody that no matter, like we were told last night, no matter how close you live to God, storms are going to come in your life. I loved the thing last night about obedience sometimes kind of stirs the devil. Another thing I want to tell you that I learned a few years ago from Dr. Tracy Mitchell is also creativity angers the devil. He can only mimic, he cannot create. So he likes to thwart the plans of people that are creative. I have this friend that's an atheist, and I went through this season of my life that no matter what that guy did, it turned to gold. And I was getting a little jealous, which is a bad thing, I know. But in watching that, I was just like, he could take pictures in dog doo-doo, and people were like, yes, I want those. Sign me up. And I'm sitting there going, Lord, why is this so hard some days? So Tracy explained to us that the devil just likes to poke at you when you're trying so hard. But the thing that she went on to say, and I was thinking it, so it was a little God thing for me, was at the same time, I was like, but he's an atheist. She went on to say, he's already got him, so he doesn't have to mess with him. I was like, It was such an awakening in my life because it's so easy. Like Ramona told us last night, it's so easy to watch Facebook and go, but I want to go on that vacation, or I want to have that car or house. We're all there sometimes, we have to be honest. But just remember that sometimes we really don't know the heart of that person that we're dealing with. But back to what I was saying, storms will come. Dwayne and I went through 12 years of marriage with no babies. How many times somebody said, are y'all ever gonna have children? Are you just scared of babies? Like, no, actually I'm scared of teenagers. But honestly, we were just having problems. And you don't want to cry in front of people, but I was about this close to, honestly. Well, the weekend of our 12th anniversary, Dr. and Miss Guido, who are wonderful friends, and I miss them so much, invited us to come eat with them. Well, to go eat with them, that meant you drove to Metter, got them in their car, drove them to where they wanted to eat, you paid for it, you brought them back. And it was such a blessing to get to do that. But we went on to eat with them. It was about an hour to where we were going to eat. I fell asleep both ways. And I'm not talking the cute little kind of sleep. I'm talking full-on snoring, mouth open, drool coming down my shirt. So Dr. Guido and Dwayne were in the front seat, and Dr. Guido elbows him because Dwayne was driving and says, so, what you going to do for your second wife, Dwayne? Dwayne's like, but Laurie's right there. Why are you saying that? He goes, well, you're obviously killing that one. She can't even stay awake in the car. He was so funny. I love him so much. But that night, every night when you come back with them, they would say the most amazing prayer over you. It was like being this close to Jesus. And in that prayer, unprecedented at all, and we had not asked, he prayed specifically for the child we would have, that it would be a girl, that she'd have brown hair, that she'd have blue eyes, her complexion, all these details. We get in the car to go home, and Dwayne and I are both like, what just happened? He understands what the doctors have told us. And I just don't want to get my hopes up again. Well, we go back home. Saturday's just a normal work day. Sunday morning, I wake up, and I look at Dwayne, and it's like, I'm pregnant. And you know how your husbands can be, honey, you're not. I was like, tell you what, this is our deal. You go buy a set of 2 pregnancy tests. I will take those 2. If they're not positive, I will never ask you again. Pinky promise. And he's like, okay, but I just don't want to see you cry again. It just hurts my heart so bad. It's like, just 2 more tests, Dwayne, just 2 more. I said, the difference is, all those other days I thought I was pregnant, I wasn't. But today I know I am. And so he went and bought them like I asked, and they were both positive. Obviously, it was a miracle pregnancy, and Edie Grace was born on May 7th, 2001. Well, fast forward to about October of that year. On a Thursday, I was invited to be a member of a very small group to study photography in France and kind of walk through some of the old masters and go see original art. It was so amazing to get to be in that small group, to be invited. The next day, somebody called and said they were from Georgia Trend magazine, and I was going to be in the next class of the 40 Under 40 in their magazine. Y'all, I thought it was a prank call. I'm like, oh, you're so funny. Who is this? Which friend is it? They're like, ma'am, this is really Georgia Trend. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then Sunday night at church, a group sang that was from out of town, and the lyrics to one of their songs was, mend me, bend me, refine me by your fire. And it was something that just came over me and resonated with me so much. I'm clawing through my pocketbook, looking for something to write on. Checkbook cover, the only thing I could find, and wrote those words down. Little did I know what those would mean to me, because the next day, my doctor called and said to come down. Edie Grace at the time was 9 months old. Actually, I started getting sick when she was 9 months old. She was 14 months old by that time. and I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. Not the easy squamous cell type, the adenocarcinoma type, that you have to have a full hysterectomy, lymph nodes, and all that good stuff. The first of the 2 surgeries was 36 hours after diagnosis. So I spent the whole next day, I was at the hospital till midnight with all the tests. The next day I spent with my lawyer because she was only 14 months old. We hadn't thought to put a will together. I was 32 years old. You don't think about dying. And so Kenny Stone was so wonderful, worked with us, got all that together, and I had my first surgery. I believe attitude's the difference between an ordeal and an adventure. I often say cancer's the best thing that ever happened to me. And so often it will be whatever storm you have the same. Dave Ramsey says that something big happens every 10 years to all of us. So we have to be prepared in our heart to know that something is going to happen. One of my other favorite quotes is from the movie Elizabethtown. It's kind of a silly movie, but I love this quote. You have 5 minutes to wallow in the delicious misery. Enjoy it, embrace it, discard it, and proceed. So with a child that's 14 months old, I said, Lord, you gave me this miracle child, but here's the problem. If I die right now, she will not have memories of me. Please, Lord, if I could just live till she's 5 so that she'll have memories. I remember my granddaddy on his farm when I was 5. I remember some things at 2 and 3, but they're kind of sketchy. But I really remember things then. God gave me an epiphany in his answer back to me. He said, Laurie, the way she would remember you is the very thing you do every day. The gift that I've given you. Are you bringing your best work every day when you show up? I was like, every Tuesday, for sure. Most days, I think. But it was really a soul-searching time to think about that. How often is the very portrait that you have of your mother, grandmother, or some special person in your family the very last one that they had? The verse that resonates from that with me and kind of drives Dwayne crazy because I take it to extremes, he says sometimes, is Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as if you're working for the Lord, not for human masters. The burning bush is also some favorite verses for me. When Moses saw the bush burning, this all resonated too after the cancer. It wasn't that a bush was on fire. That happened all the time in the desert. That's pretty normal. The thing that got his attention, which brought him to it so the Lord could speak to him, was that the bush was on fire, but was not being consumed by the fire. So, no matter what fire the Lord sends or you or life sends you, not being consumed by it is the point where people watch and they see that your faith is what's getting you through. So with that, I feel like we're all charged with being a vessel for whatever gifts, whatever things that we've walked through in our life, that you've gotten through them only by faith and only by the grace of God. For me, I felt like I didn't raise my hand and go, pick me for cancer. That was not how this went down, y'all. It was just a normal day when I got that call. So whatever he gives us, he also promises us that we can handle it. He's not going to give us more than we can handle. He also says to Moses with those burning bush, take off your sandals. I would do it, but my feet probably already stink. The ground that you're standing on is holy ground. And that's because everybody's watching you. You know, on Facebook or anything else, when you see some tragedy, you're like, is this person going to make it? Are they going to end up in Willing Way or Georgia Regional? You know, there's just so much that life hands us. But I also love, like I just said, I know God won't give me anything that I can't handle. I just wish he wouldn't trust me so much. We all have those days, but we just have to give it back to God. For me, some of the things about being a vessel means advocating. I've done a lot of work with the cervical cancer vaccine. When it first came out, a lot of people had really horrible things to say, that it was just because people were promiscuous, a lot of bad stuff. But overall, 80% of women over 50 at some point in their life will be affected by HPV. So that has nothing to do with being promiscuous. That just is a statistic that we all need to take into account. I also do some speaking like this because I feel like encouraging is so important. And Dwayne and Edie Grice also feel just compelled to give back to our community, whether it be through hurricanes or these kids from the Bahamas that we're trying to support and make life a little easier for. We feel like we've been given so much that we want to give back to them as well. But I do have some bad news this morning, and I hate to be the bearer of this bad news, but y'all, life is terminal. There's only one person that's gotten out of it alive, and that's Jesus. So we all need to live every single day like we are dying, because y'all, we are. I love this quote also. Don't be afraid of death. Be afraid of the life not lived. Fear can overcome us sometimes, but y'all, fear's a liar. Fear keeps us from being who we're supposed to be for God and having the faith and showing it to others so that maybe, just maybe, you're the person that gives them their breakthrough. But most importantly, make every moment count. Whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're just laughing with friends or cooking supper for your family, whatever it is, make every moment count and be in that moment. Don't be on Facebook and trying to multitask. But I prayed for 5 years. My daughter's 18 now. Exactly.